Hi Flosstube. My name is Lauren, the cat lady stitcher. I'm sure you'll see why here in a minute. My cats are wandering around my feet at the moment. And I just wanted to come back and do my second, my second Flosstube, my first actual Flosstube, because the last one I really just kind of introduced myself. But I didn't show you guys anything I was working on because it was just on a whim. And also I wanted to do the Know Your Needleworker tag, so we're going to do that. I've got some finished projects to show you, finished FOs, not FFOs because I haven't actually fully finished anything before. And I'm going to show you some of my haul and some stuff that I got in the mail today, and I'm really excited. So I'm going to start with the Know Your Needleworker. So where do I live? I live in a suburb of Nashville, Tennessee, born and raised. So I like to claim Nashville just because most people don't know where the town that I live in is. But I work in Nashville, I go to church in Nashville. I'm there 6 out of 7 days of the week, so Nashville. What kind of work do I do? I am a technical web support representative for Lifeway Christian Resources. So if you ever buy any content for any of our products that happens to be downloadable or digital or anything like that, I'm the one you're talking to on the phone. Which can be stressful sometimes. Just any customer service or customer support related job is just going to be, stressful, but there's also good sides to it. And I really like it a lot, and I love my coworkers, and it's a great job. Do I have any other hobbies aside from cross stitch? Yes-ish. Before I started cross stitch, I really decided that I wanted to learn how to sew. I had watched all of the seasons that were available on Hulu for Project Runway, so I decided that I was going to be a seamstress and learn how to sew my own clothes. And I'm sure you guys have run into this problem with Netflix or Hulu. If you binge watch something enough, and it makes you really think that you can do it, and you can, but you just have to really work at it. And so I was trying to learn how to sew, and I was using my mom's really old sewing machine she's had for years, and I didn't realize, with my extremely limited knowledge, that it was already mostly broken when I started using it. So after I did one project, it completely broke and it was not usable whatsoever. And that was in June or July of 2017. And I just am one of those people that I like to keep busy, keep my hands busy. And so after I broke the sewing machine, I picked up a cross stitch kit. And I didn't bring it again. I'll try to remember to bring it. It's at my desk at work, but it's just a simple little piece, probably 5 inches in diameter, and it just says, "I can't adult today." Really easy, simple first try for a cross stitch. And then it just kind of evolved from there. So for Christmas, I did get a sewing machine, so I'm starting to pick that up a little bit and learn how to sew. Do I have any kids or pets? No, I don't have any kids. I am still single. I am 26, never married, so no kids, but I do have some adorable nephews and another nephew on the way. But I do have 2 adorable cats who are currently both staring at me. See if I can get them. They're Charlie and Luna. Luna was named for Luna Lovegood, Harry Potter, because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm sure you can see my Harry Potter shelf up there. I've got a collection going. I have all of the books in hardback for the American version, and I've tried to start collecting the UK editions. So I have, I think it's the 3rd and the 1st. No, I think it's the 2nd and 3rd books in the UK edition, because I found those at a secondhand bookstore. And I also have all of the illustrated editions and the 20th anniversary edition for UK, which is the ones that look like your house. And I am a Ravenclaw, so I bought the Ravenclaw edition. So it's in blue, and it's got the blue and bronze on the side, and then of course it's got some fun new information about your house, and then it's got Rowena Ravenclaw in the back, so that's pretty cool. But one of my kitties just appeared. This is Luna. So this is Luna Lovegood, who was named for Harry Potter because she's so cute and sweet. Charlie is currently putting his mouse in their water, so he likes to play fetch. Oh, and he just brought it to me. Let me see if I can show him off to you guys. So he was named, oh, wet paws, for Charlie Chaplin because, first of all, he's in black and white. Charlie Chaplin had a lot of black and white movies, but check out. See if I can show you. Say hi, Charlie. See his cute little mustache? It looks kind of like Charlie Chaplin's mustache. So that's who he was named for. He loves to play fetch. I think he thinks he's a dog. He will bring me his favorite mouse and I will throw it and it will go on and on and on for like a good hour. He's currently watching me toss it. So I'm gonna throw that for him. And he's gonna go, you can hear him run away to go get that. So I have two pets, two cats. Hence the cat lady Stitcher, because I'm obsessed with my cats and any and everything that has to do with cats. I just, the funnier, the tackier, the better. I think it's hilarious. I've embraced my cat lady status. What is my favorite movie? It's really hard for me to pick favorites in general, but I thought about this earlier today. I was trying to pick something. And I want to say that it's A League of Their Own. It's not something I watch like all the time, but it's something I love to come back to. If you've never watched it, it's a really great movie. I want to say it was made in the late 90s. Somewhere in there, late 90s, really early 2000s, maybe even like mid 90s. But it's about the Women's All-American Baseball League during the second, I think it was the Second World War, when all the men were off in war. The women took over the baseball league for the entertainment back home. It's really good. And I don't even like baseball, but I just really like that movie. Favorite TV shows, again, really hard to pick. I watch a bunch of different things, but currently This Is Us, of course, everyone's hooked on it. Doctor Who, I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I actually haven't watched the most recent season yet. I've got to get caught up before the new Doctor, the new Lady Doctor's season starts. Parks and Rec, I discovered that like a year or two ago and I like blew through it on Netflix and still love it. I need to watch it again. And then Grey's Anatomy is another one of my favorites. I just, what, 11 seasons now? I just can't stop watching. I love medical dramas. Favorite music genre. I like a lot of folk and bluegrass music. Like, oh gosh. I was listening to the Oh Hellos today. I don't know if you guys have heard about them, but they're really good. And I'm like blanking on names, but that's just the first thing that came to mind. And then I also listen to a lot of like contemporary worship music by like Bethel Music, Elevation Worship, people like that. If you want a good, not boring, but upbeat, really good Christian music station to listen to, if that is your thing, I would recommend the Bethel Music Radio on Spotify. It's really good. My favorite book, well, obviously it's Harry Potter. All of those up there. I'm obsessed. I've probably read the series more times than I can count, but a conservative estimate would be like 40. Very conservative, because I used to reread every book leading up to a new book release, and I would do the same thing for a new movie, because I liked to torture myself, because the movies, of course, have to leave a lot of stuff out, and so I did it anyway. And I still reread them at least once a year. I recently got them on audiobook when I was in college, probably 4 years ago, and so those are super easy just to listen on a loop, which is actually what got me started with audiobooks. I love to listen to audiobooks lately, especially while I'm stitching, because I love to multitask and it allows me to do that really easily. Oh gosh, this last one word to describe me, and I was supposed to think on this and I forgot to do that. Huh, that's really hard. I might have to come back to that one. I don't know. It's hard to like pinpoint your own personality. It's easier to hear it from those who are close to you, I think. What do you kitties think? Maybe strong. More that I can be strong-willed. I'm strong in my opinions. I tend to be the more level-headed in stressful situations. So I'm gonna go with strong. I'm gonna go with that one. And I think that's all the questions I have for the Know Your Needleworker tag. So there you go. That's a little bit about me. If you have questions that you'd like me to answer for next time, or questions about my kitties, or you know, whatever, anything, or just a comment, say hi, drop it in the comments. I really do hope that someone's watching, and I'd love to hear from you guys. So with that said, let me show you guys my first FO. I don't remember, I got rid of the kit after I finished this, and you'll have to excuse it. It's a little dirty. I haven't washed it, and there's cat hair all over it, which is, I know it's a big no-no, but this was before I really took cross-stitching seriously. But I bought this kit at, I think, Hobby Lobby, and it was my first non-counted cross-stitch. So I'd done a counted cross-stitch the first couple of small ones I did, and then this one's one of those printed ones. I didn't realize it was printed when I got it, and I was really confused. For some reason, it was just much harder for me to understand. Plus, it was my first non-Aida. I think this is some kind of even weave, and I want to say it's like 32 count, maybe. I have no idea. Ouch, Charlie, that hurts. He must have brought me his mouse. He likes to get my attention. Anyway, I'm sorry. So anyway, it's just a cute little mason jar. It says, "Hello, lovely." And it has some flowers and, oh gosh, that's kind of washed out. There we go. So yeah, I just thought it was really cute, and I love, you know, mason jars and stuff. And see if I can get that up close and you can see all the cat hair. I need to do something with this. It's just been sitting around, but I just loved the colors. It's just so pretty. I need to frame it because I think it would look really cute in a frame, and to stick it on something. I live in a garage apartment, so I don't have a ton of wall space, but that's probably why I haven't framed it yet. Charlie's currently attempting to crawl up his cat tree and not doing so hot at it. It was missing a piece when I bought it, so they've made, there he goes. They've made do. They're not too bad at it. Oops, let me get that to sit. Okay. So that's my first finished object. I have a couple others somewhere. Well, the other one I told you about, I can't adult today, but that's at work. So we'll bring out this one I'm gonna do this other one. So I just learned what a BAP or a BAP stands for. I had to look it up today because you guys, I've been watching Flosstube for like a week now, well, 2 weeks maybe. And there's so many things that I've learned, just like terms and phrases and things, that I had to look up some of them. But as I mentioned last week, or like on Monday, whenever I posted this, it's only been a few days. It's just been a long week for me at work. I love a challenge. So once I feel like I've got a good grasp on something, I don't want to stay in one spot. I want to try and challenge myself further. So I decided to find a larger project, because I discovered that I wasn't limited to what was at Hobby Lobby. I don't know what made me think that, but one day I just decided, oh, wait a minute, I can search online for patterns that I like. I don't have to like just buy what's in the kits at Hobby Lobby. So I found this, I don't know if it's got a name. It doesn't have a name. It's just, it's the Hogwarts Castle. I think I'll link it below. I don't remember where I found it. It's not a stitcher I've heard of before or anything like that. I think it's someone that maybe just got an image, and then, from what I can tell, since I've been like actually paying more attention to the cross-stitching community, from what I can tell, it seems like it was an image that was put into like a software and converted, but it's still pretty. It's 432 by 281. So of course I went from something that was this size, this little beauty right here, to this massive project. Had no idea what I was doing. I just grabbed some evenly fabric from Hobby Lobby. It's super dirty because, again, guys, I have no idea what I was doing, like, for the first 2 months of even trying to do this. I discovered that there was a subreddit for cross stitch, and that was like my first dipping my toe. That's actually how I found Flosstube, was through Reddit. It's a wonderful place. But that's where I started also finding out about different like good practices for when you're cross stitching bigger projects. And so I'm not gonna show you like a pattern or anything, but this page, you can see it. Well, those are all the colors. There's probably like 80 colors in this thing. I had no idea where to start. And it was a bit overwhelming at first. And so, let me take this out of the Q-snap. I have made some progress. It's 32 pages total of pattern. And I have completed 7, and I'm working on page 8. I just started page 8, but about the time I discovered Flosstube, I was getting super burnt out. And also, hello, I started watching Flosstube, and all of you guys are like crazy good and have all of these awesome techniques. And I was like, wow, this looks terrible. I don't know if I want to work on this anymore. But I haven't looked at it actually. Like, I literally put it away after I, you know, had that thought, and got a different project to start on just to kind of not deal with it for a while. I just needed a break because I've been working on it since like October, and it's February. So it's just been really draining. And I actually am very fortunate in that I can cross stitch while I'm at work. My boss is cool with it as long as I keep up with what I'm supposed to be doing. And like I said, I'm a huge multitasker, so it's great for me since I work in a call center. The phone answers automatically for me, so I can be cross stitching while I'm talking to someone on the phone. And I usually don't get too distracted. So that being said, when I started this bad boy, I didn't know anything about gridding. I didn't know that you needed to protect the edges of your fabric so it wouldn't fray. I didn't know what a Q-snap was. I didn't know about grime guards. In fact, I got my first grime guard today. So all that to say, this fabric is pretty dirty. I had to start over about 500 times because I learned a lot about what not to do. So that being said, I'm going to show you the progress I do have on it. And so anyway, I don't have a picture to show you, but I'll link the pattern below, and it'll take you to the picture so you can have a reference for it. But this, it actually doesn't look so bad when I put it in the camera. I'm sorry. It's just been one of those things I was kind of beating myself up over. But this is the first 8 pages, 7.5, but it's gonna be pretty much, I think I gave it like a 3-inch, about a 3-inch, well, 3 inches on the top and bottom, I think 2 inches on the sides. Again, I didn't know how to, you know, to do this, so I'll hold it up for a minute so you can see it a little bit better. But it's starting to get there, but I'm sure as some of you know, it just, sometimes with these big projects, you gotta set it aside. And you can see over here, so I'll explain this. I'm an organized person generally, and I like to have some kind of process when I do something. So tackling a big project like this with no frame of reference for how to even start it was super terrifying, because I even kitted it up myself, because when I bought the pattern, I just was like, oh cool, a pattern, I like this. And then I was like, oh gosh, I have to find all the stuff myself. So that was a bit intimidating. I had no idea what size needles to get. I still don't think I'm using the right size needle, but whatever. I'm this far into it. I was just using a needle that I got with a previous kit. So this is, what is this? I think it's 28 count even weave. I'm gonna go with that, it's 28. But you can see lots of stitches, quite a bit of confetti in some areas, especially on the pages where the sunset. Can't really see what I'm holding up, so. I think the sunset page, like that has been my favorite to do. It's been so fun because it's so many different colors. Oops. And all of this has just been, you know, big blocks of like 310 and a bunch of like navies and grays and stuff. So it's definitely been interesting, and I finally got into a groove. So it's been going much faster. When I started, I thought I could do it the way I had done my smaller projects, in that I was just gonna do one color across the entire project and then come back and do the next color. I had no concept of doing it page by page because I'd never had more than one page of a pattern to work with, and suddenly I have 32. So let's just say I had to frog the whole thing at least twice. And then I gave in because I was going to be stubborn and say, oh, I don't need to grid because I'm awesome. I'm just not going to grid. Well, also false. I needed to grid. I had no idea how to tackle this without doing that, especially since I'd only used Ada previously, and then one type of soft fabric that was printed, and it was really confusing because I'd only ever used Ada, and then all of a sudden I had this printed fabric and I had no idea what I was doing. So once I finally figured out what worked for me, if I work on it a little bit every day, I've been able to do about one page per, sometimes a week, sometimes like 10 days, but I feel like that's pretty good. So anyway, yeah, I'm actually quite proud of this. I told my dad earlier I just kind of stuffed this into my project bag and haven't looked at it all week because I have a new start because my mom's birthday is next month and she loves to bake, and so I found like the most perfect pattern and I had to get it. And I just needed a mental break from this. And I was so convinced that it was horrible, that my stitching was terrible, that you could see all these gaps because I was, you know, pulling too tight. I had been watching Vanna Pfeiffer, I know, anyway. I think it's the Twisted Stitcher is her name. And I was watching her and I was like watching all of her videos and how she was so good at entering into like her county fairs and things like that, and how one of the things they would critique on is like the tightness of your stitches, and I honestly never thought about it. And she was explaining you can tell if you can see like little gaps in between the stitches that if it's been pulled too tight. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna throw this in the trash and start over. So that's kind of how I'd been like the last few days. 'Cause I was like, man, I suck. But I had to remind myself I've only been doing this since like June or July. I don't know if you just saw Charlie jump, sorry, they're distracting. So I gotta give myself a little grace. And I have an art degree, which, funny, you wouldn't really know that because I didn't mention it, but I work in customer service. But I have an art degree, and so I have to remember that it's just like cross-stitching is just like with any art project that you're working on, you're really close to it. And sometimes when you're up close, especially on something this big, it starts to all blend together and just like looks terrible, even though everyone else is saying, oh, it looks so great. Like, all you're gonna see is terrible until you take a break from it for a few days and come back to it. So when I pulled it out and off my Q-snap today, because I got my first Grime Garden fabric protector shields for this one, I hadn't looked at it in full. So it was a nice like break, and so now I can like see it for what it is and I can appreciate it again, which is really nice. The reason I was only doing this one too is because I'm one of those people who likes to just tackle something, and when it's done, I move on to the next thing. I've never been one to like, even though I'm a multitasker, I've never been one to work on tons of things at once. I like to try and like one track mind finish it. So when I started watching Flosstube and all of you ladies were, and guys were working on multiple projects at once, I was like, oh my gosh, how do you even keep track of all of this? Does it not drive you crazy? Do you ever finish anything? But I'm starting to realize that if you're not excited about what you're working on, you're not going to get very much done. And so being able to rotate keeps you excited about what you're working on. So I'm really excited to start doing that. I have like a bajillion things in my wish lists right now because I spent a lot of money on supplies for some products that I just purchased, and I'm still waiting for the rest of the fabrics to arrive to start. So I have to wait before I can buy more, which is probably a good thing because I bought another huge project. So anyway, that is this one. I'm gonna move on because I've been talking about it for like 10 minutes. Also, I tend to talk fast, so if I'm doing that, please just tell me in the comments and I will try to remember next time to slow down. I have to remember and catch myself. So that's this bad boy. I'm really excited about this one. So I don't know if you guys have seen last year, Stitchrovia did a sale that was, I think, is quotes to live by, and I'd been seeing a lot of people that were doing it, but I didn't buy it or try to do it or anything, but I like a lot of their designs. So I was looking through their designs last week sometime and saw one that I just had to get. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh gosh, my cats are trying to kill each other. I just knew I had to do it for my mom's birthday. So anyway, let me show you. It is called Heart of the Home by Stitchrovia. And it is 105 stitches by 139. So it's not full coverage. So I have already done a full page and a half. Like, I'm almost done with half of it, and I've only been working on it this week. So that's really awesome. But let's see if, there we go. So it just says the kitchen is the heart of the home, and it's got all these cute little kitchen patterns and utensils and things on there, and it's just stinking adorable. And like I said, my mom loves to bake. And she loves to make cupcakes. We call her the cupcake queen because she is just seriously so good. And they did have one that had more to do with baking, but I didn't like the colors quite as much. And I didn't think she would like them quite as much as she would this one. Plus, I just think it'll look better in her kitchen. So, that being said, this is where I left off this afternoon. Also, you'll notice I have discovered parking, which I was super confused and afraid of when I first saw people doing it. But it's not that hard. One day it just clicked, and so I started doing it, and I like it. So yeah, this is just super cute, and I love everything about it. It is adorable, but my all-time favorite so far, I mean, I haven't done the other half, so it might change, but currently, my very favorite is this tiny little whisk. Look how cute that is. I mean, backstitching kind of confuses me sometimes because I'm not sure where I'm supposed to put the needle, and like, do I just draw it across the whole thing, or do I have to stitch in every single hole, or what? Oh my gosh, but that whisk is just adorable. Like, I kind of just want a giant version of it, but I think it's just cute and miniature. So anyway, so far I've got the kitchen is the heart of the, and half of home. And yeah, like I said, I'm really digging this one. It's super cute. It's been so fun to work on. I think my mom's gonna love it. She has no idea I'm making it for her. It was just one that I kind of saw and bought on a whim, and just banging it out because I've been really excited about it. So yeah, that's all my WIPs right now because I've been working on that huge Harry Potter castle for forever, the Hogwarts castle. But I did have some haul that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm gonna have to think of a better word for haul. I feel like most people don't really like that word, but a lot of people use it because we don't really know what else to say. But anyway, I bought a bunch of stuff. So after watching all of you guys and seeing all of your amazing fun projects, of course I went to 123stitch.com because I'd never heard of it. Found a lot of stuff. I've been seeing a lot about Heaven and Earth designs. Probably not the best place for me to go because I already have one huge project, but I bought another one. I bought one from Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm actually blanking on what I even bought. Oh, no, I remember. I don't have it in front of me because I haven't printed the pattern yet. I downloaded the pattern, got it as a PDF, and then I'm having them kit it up for me because, no, that's a different one. I lied. I'm having them cut my fabric because I could not find it anywhere that was large enough. I don't have an L&S that's really close to me. I did discover one that's in the south side of Nashville. I live on the north side, so it's like a 45-minute to an hour drive from my house. And I did go there on Saturday, but unfortunately they're mostly for needlework or embroidery and not cross-stitch, so they didn't have a lot of cross-stitch fabric yet. Hopefully they'll have some more next time I go back, but if anybody is in the Nashville area and knows of an LNS, please let me know, because I would love to be able to like go into the store and pick up things and look at them. So once that arrives, I'm probably gonna get that started at least. I wish I could remember the name of who it's by, but the pattern name is Eagle View, and it's just a really gorgeous eagle's eye view of like some forest scenery and like a river, and it's gonna be freaking beautiful when it's done, if I ever finish it, because it'll probably be when I'm like 80. And then I bought the class schedule Sal from Armada Designs, and that one I'm having them kit up for me. So I don't have any of that yet, but hopefully that will be shipping soon, and so I will let you guys know when I start that. I'm really excited. I'm behind, and it's like the end of February, so I'm already behind a couple months, but I'm a pretty fast stitcher. It's like all I do in my spare time. So I'm hoping to get caught up really soon. So, but when I did kit up, I did get the thread for, or the floss rather, for my Hade design. And so I bought another box because both of my projects take up almost an entire box. So this one is the Hogwarts Castle, and this one is my Hade design. But by chance, after I went to the LNS, they didn't really have much for me to choose from because I've only used DMC this far. I definitely want to venture into the world of variegated threads, hand-dyed threads, and over-dyed and hand-dyed fabric, but I'm still relatively new, and I'm such a stickler for the rules and for instructions that it's really hard for me just to variate or to divert from the pattern. So if it doesn't tell me exactly what thread to use, I get really confused. So since they didn't have much, they suggested Joann's because I was looking at getting a floor light, which I showed you guys last time. I got my first Ott light, and I'm really excited about it. It's great. It's the light that I'm using now, actually. It's good for video lighting and for stitching under because it comes with the magnifying glass as well. Charlie, leave her alone. Sorry, they're being annoying. So I got those, but while I was at Joann's, which I never go to Joann's because it's not exactly like on my way. First of all, the Ott light was half off, so had to get it. And then all of the DMC thread was only 33 cents. So I bought everything I needed for everything that they had. I think they were only missing like 9 or 10 of the 88 colors I needed for this Hade project. So I bought all of it for 33 cents. I think I left having spent $120 for everything I needed. For the floss and the Ott light, which is a really nice like floor. I mean, it stands on the floor, or you can convert it to a table one. So I think it was a pretty good deal. And I'm gonna have to go back to Joann's more because wow, they have a lot of stuff, and especially like if I want to learn how to sew. And then today I got my first stitch email. Okay, so like I told you guys, I didn't know what a Q-snap was. I had never heard of a grime guard, and as you can imagine, with a project as large as this, it was getting really annoying having to hold it wrapped up in my hand around this little 11 by 11 because that's what I bought. I didn't really see the point in getting something much bigger since I take it with me everywhere and work on it when I can, because it would have been very easy to transport, and also I'd like work on one page at a time, so I didn't want to have like all of this just extra space. I don't know. Maybe that's like a bad idea. But anyway, I ordered my first grime guard. I probably could have learned how to make one, but honestly, I didn't want to. So I went to Etsy, and it came in the mail today, guys, and I am so excited. So I found this gorgeous grime guard from Maggie's Minders on Etsy. You can find her under that name on Etsy, maggiesminders.com, and on Instagram under Maggie's Minders. And she also had fabric protectors, another thing I learned is that it's, I mean, I figured it probably wasn't like the best thing to have the Q-snap like going right over my stitches, but at the time I just had no better option. Since after I purchased this, I discovered felt was also really good, so I bought that for a piece of that for my smaller Q-snap, the 8x8 for the other project. But these came in the mail today, and I'm so excited, and it's so pretty. Blue and green are my favorite colors. So I got this adorable blue flowered pattern. It's kind of, oh, there we go. It's just so cute. I just really like those dainty little flowers. They're adorable. And I got a very similar fabric for the sleeve, or whatever you want to call them, the protectors. And would you guys know, okay, so I opened this up and I was only expecting these 2 items, so I put them on and, you know, was trying it out. And then when I went to pick up the rest of the package and make sure I didn't miss anything, she included this adorable needle minder, and I don't have any because, again, I'm such a noob. I don't know anything about anything until literally last week when I started watching Flosstube. And it even matches, guys. Okay, I'm gonna take it out because I just opened this like 30 minutes ago, so I haven't even taken it out yet. But it matches my fabric, and it is so cute. Look at that adorable needle minder. Look at it. It is so adorable. I mean, it almost looks like there's actual pressed flowers in there. I think it's just, it's not, but I mean, it looks like it really could be. They're so pretty. I'm really excited to use it. I was just blown away. I mean, I've heard of all of the, like, the wonderful things that people in the stitchy community do and surprises that they send. And I just think it's amazing. And for that to like happen for me with my first stitchy mail, guys, I was really excited and I'm very grateful. So Maggie from Maggie's Minders, if you watch this, I'm very appreciative because now I don't have to hold my needle in between my teeth and have my coworkers ask me, what did you chewing on? A needle. Oh, that sounds dangerous. That happened today because I had nowhere to put my needle. So now I have this and I'm very grateful and super excited. I think that's all I have. Oh, you know what? Let me show you, just because I like to see how other people organize their stuff just to get ideas for myself. Since the project I'm working on for my mom's present is rather smaller than what I've been working on, I didn't want to mix in the colors. I wanted them to be more easily accessible, and I don't remember who I saw this on or if it was like just in a Reddit post or what, but I bought one of these rings and I put all of the colors that I need for this project on this ring. I've heard of people also using floss away bags, but I'm not actually sure if people use them for their projects or if they have like multiples of one type of floss that they put like all of the extras in one bag, because I quickly discovered after I started bobbinating all of these that I didn't want to have like 12 310s because then I have to like buy more bobbins for other colors. It makes more sense to just have one skein. I'm gonna go with skein on a bobbin at a time. And right now I have the rest of them like just wrapped in, like all bunched together in a Hobby Lobby bag. So I probably should get some floss away bags. That may be what I use it for. A different bag with all of the same skeins in it. So that's that. And I highlight. I know people do things differently. If I had an iPad, I was given one, but it's like a first generation and it's not compatible with anything. So, but I've seen where people use a software, I think it's called Goodreader or I think it's called Goodreader, maybe? I don't know, because I don't use it. But that looks like a really awesome PDF reader that you can use to keep track of your progress. But I basically, and I'm just gonna like flash it up here so I don't show you guys. I don't know if you could even read this, it's like the middle. But I just kind of like highlight as I go. That way once I've completed a whole page, I can toss it. So far I've not bought any, well, that's a lie. Other than, I haven't kept any patterned kits, like with the pattern or anything like that. since they were like Hobby Lobby patterns. But from here on out, when I buy some patterns, I plan on keeping them and making copies of the original in case I want to pass it along or anything like that. But since these were PDFs, I wasn't worried about just highlighting on there. And the last thing I want to show you that I got last weekend, my birthday was last week, and so my mom and I took the day off on Friday from work and we went shopping, and we went to Vera Bradley because there's like an outlet store in the mall here in Nashville, and I like to try and stop by if I ever go to that mall, which is very rarely. And they had this adorable tote, and it was on sale for like a really good price, and it is the perfect size for me to carry around my projects in. Now, I have seen these project bags that everyone has since I bought this, and now I'm thinking I want also to have project bags that I can organize more neatly within my tote bag if I'm carrying more than one project at once. But how cute is this pattern? I mean, it's got like so many pockets, so many. I put all my stuff in here, so I can bring all my threads. I had both of my Q-snaps with both my projects on them and all of their patterns. And it's got like a bajillion pockets on the inside. I think there's like 3 on either side, and then a zipper pocket in the front. And I'm really obsessed with it because what I was using previously was a Hobby Lobby bag that I kept having to replace because it kept breaking because it was plastic, and a shopping bag, like not even a reusable one, just not good. So anyway, I didn't think that it would take me 40 minutes or 45 minutes to get through this because I only had 2 WIPs, but now I get it. There's a lot to talk about. So thanks if you stuck with me through this. Hopefully I do better the next time. Maybe I'm not quite so long. I personally like to watch the ones that are long because I work on it while I'm stitching, which I think many of you probably do as well. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me for this amount of time. Luna's coming back to say goodbye. Charlie's too busy trying to electrocute himself with the light. He keeps playing with it. Actually, I think he's trying to get his mouse. But anyway, Luna, say goodbye. Good night. And I hope you have a good weekend well, it's Thursday right now. But I hope you have a good weekend, or if you're watching this on some other day, I just hope you have a very great rest of your day.